because the most important aspect of elevating your performance begins with the mindset. The minute your mindset believes you can't get it is the minute you will fulfill it. So how do you prepare, perform, and persevere? Well, that's what I want to go through right now. What do these have in common? Bats are blind. Sharks don't get cancer. Elephants are afraid of mice. Bulls become angry when they see the color red. Goldfish have a 3 to 7 second memory. Ostriches stick their heads in the ground when they are scared. And a mother bird will reject its baby if it's been touched by a human. They're actually myths. And so as you think about that for a moment, they're all myths, things that we have come to believe that we think are common. But if you said they were myths, you were on point. But here's the question. These things have become pervasive in our culture. But some things are also happening in our culture because when others think of the word sales or selling, what myths come to mind? Pushy, rejections, money, liars, slimy. Are there some people like that? Certainly. But when you think of the word sales or you think of the word selling, I want you to really go, okay, are those reality? Because there are so many different sales myths. Here's 5 that I think are countlessly considered true, but not. Great salespeople can be made. And yes, you don't have to be an extrovert to be highly successful. And it's not just about making money. Some of you are here to serve. And as a result of your serving, you've been able to make a great living. And yes, top salespeople do have ups and downs, and high performers, they love sales training because they want to win. What I want to have you do right now is answer for me what myths you may believe about yourself. So what myths do you think you might believe about yourself that may not be true? Here are 4 myths that I hear often is I'm just an average salesperson. Here, I'll finish that. I'm not that good. I'm not that smart. I'm not that great. I'm not a top person. I have bad accounts. The market's bad. My strategy's poor. I'm not capable of getting to the top. I'm not that good. And here's one of my favorites. I don't want to be a top salesperson because they sacrifice so much. These are myths. Now, what's a myth? And it's the same thing as a self-limiting belief. A myth is saying to yourself, you're not capable. You're not enough. You don't have enough questions. You don't know the right questions. You don't have a good strategy. Listen, myths are false beliefs, everyone. Let me make sure that everybody very clearly hears that. Right now, there's a high probability that you have self-limiting beliefs that are causing you to not succeed. One of my most passionate topics is what you're going through today, because that's what's holding you back from being the best. See, quite often we compare ourselves with other people. So when you do that, are you your best? Absolutely not. Because if you're focused on someone else, you're not focused on moving forward. So how in the world do you dispel the myths? How do I get rid of that limiting mindset? Listen, you got the same amount of time, probably the same amount of products, same services as someone else in your company. If you're not at the top, I'm going to challenge you right now and say, what are those achievers doing that I'm not? Well, you're going to find out today, because quite often people jump to those myths that, well, they've been here longer, they got better accounts, they're smarter, they're better, they're just bigger achievers. I'm going to tell you none of that is true. So I don't know where you are in your profession. You might be at the top of your game. You may be climbing and you're like, hey, I'm ready to get to the top. You might be looking out, not sure you even want to make the climb. Or you were making it and you're stuck and you don't know how to get to the next level. Or you're thinking of getting out of sales because it's hard. It doesn't matter where you are. In order to shift, to literally change where you are right now, most people struggle because of 2 reasons. They either lack the will or they lack the skill. Let me say that again. In order to change, there are 2 reasons people typically struggle, and it is a lack of will or a lack of skill. And that's why we start with, how do we help you elevate your performance? There are three things. It's the mindset, the skill set, and the action set. Today, we're not going to talk about skill set and action set because the most important aspect of elevating your performance begins with the mindset. So if you consider this for a moment and say the mindset, how do I take my mindset? How do I shift it? That's why we started with mindset, because everything else follows. When you see in a moment what I'm about to present, what influences your mindset? It's things that you can control. See, mindset influences how we prepare, how we perform, and yes, how we persevere. A lot of you may have been taking training classes, and I hear sales classes all over the country. We have them. You're in the middle of one, but you're at the beginning of how to transform your business. If you've been going and getting sales training, going to conferences, taking great notes, you come back and you get nothing from it, there's a reason. It's because your mindset is not where it needs to be. So how do I improve my mindset? And that's why you're here. How do I absolutely lean in? Now, right now, it's prepare, be intentional about what you want. Now, I'm going to give you a little more instructions here in just a moment. You have to perform. You have to be intentional about your self-talk. Yes, you have to be intentional. And ultimately, you have to see feedback as a gift. So if you prepare, perform, and persevere, it impacts your mindset long-term. Now, to help you to be really successful, you have to know something. You can be comfortable or you can grow, but you can't do both. Like Mark Twain said, I've had many worries in my life, many of which never happened. Some of you are in that fear zone right there. Do you see it? And you're fighting, you find excuses, you're affected by other people, you're letting the market impact you. I can tell you one very clear thing. If any of you are in an industry right now where the market is desperately down and you're struggling, I'm going to share with you a statement that a top performer said to me when it happened to me. His answer to me was, do you have 100% market share? And of course, my answer was, of course not. He goes, then you've got plenty to get. The minute your mindset believes you can't get it is the minute you will fulfill it. So how do you prepare, perform, and persevere? Well, that's what I want to go through right now. So how do you prepare? The first thing is you have to answer the questions. What do you want? I want you to write down the words, I don't know, some kind of number that you would like to achieve, whether it's 100 sales, 30 sales, 50, whatever the number is for your industry. And I want you to write it down. And when you look at it, I want you to be uncomfortable. If it's too easy and you're looking at, well, that I can do that, I want you to go, oh my gosh, that's exciting when I do that. Change your language and you'll change your outcome. Be intentional. Does it get you excited and uncomfortable? You can't be comfortable and grow at the same time. All right. So now that I know what I want, and I want you to, another exercise later is be intentional, visually see it, right? So look at this. How do you, number two is how do you change what you say to yourself? Now, you have to change what you say to yourself because check out this. It was found that the average person has between 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day. Think about that for a minute. And of those thoughts, everyone, 80% were negative. Now pause and think about that and go, what am I doing? And then when you look at 95% were exactly the same repetitive thoughts as the day before. So when you think about how do I change what I say to myself, you must know the power of words. See, the power of words actually dictate your future. The power of your own personal word or actually creating your reality today. And it's creating your performance. What words are we using right now? Are they negative or are they positive? And I want you to consider for a moment, when you think, and every morning you wake up, you're saying something. What words do you use to describe yourself? Every single thought you have is shaping the water crystals in your body and your positive thoughts. Every single thought. And if you think about that 80% of our thoughts are negative, we got to shift it. And we got to shift it in a big way, and we need to shift it fast. There are people that are around me that depend on me. See, our brain uses repetition to learn. Have you guys ever been around someone who's always sick? Like they're just always sick. And it could be you, and I apologize if it is you. And when you say it often enough, I was like, I always get sick. You just created your reality again. So let's shift collectively as salespeople. We have to change what we say to ourselves. Instead of saying, I can't figure out social media. I hate doing videos. I'm not, you've got that very fixed mindset. You just tweak it. Tweak what you say. Tweak the negative self-talk. You might think it's impossible to remove that self-doubt, but the minute you shift your self-talk, tweak it to say, I currently struggle, which means it's not going to stay with social media and videos, but hey, I've learned new things before. Hey, with time, patience, and efforts, I'm going to get it. See, if we just tweak our language, we can go from that fixed mindset, yes, to a growth mindset. So you notice that I'm recognizing that you say you struggle. It's okay. That's the reality, but that's not what's going to stay in front of you. I don't want you to pretend you don't struggle. I'm saying change the fact that you're struggling to a positive, into a growth mindset where, hey, I currently struggle, but I can become fantastic at videos. So as you consider failures required, a common fear in sales is that fear of failure. And when salespeople are afraid to fail, you play small. Did y'all hear me? When you are afraid to fail, you play small. You're afraid to take a risk. And then you're less than who you truly can be. So one of the key concepts about research on the mindset is that you have to create and you have to adopt a not yet mentality, right? The fixed mindset people, failure's fatal. I mean, game over. It's time to give up if you've got a fixed mindset. When someone says they don't want to learn or grow, or they don't want to take training, by the way, maybe it's because training's been bad, but they're the people, hopefully you love it with us, where you go, okay, time out. I want to grow. The best salespeople in this country are always leaning in to going, I want to learn, I want to grow. And the growth mindset is what makes them win. See, the growth mindset, failure is feedback. Think about that for a moment. And instead of being a terminal sentence, right, that you failed, it's an important step to improving. Failure is where you grow. When you notice in that and you start saying, when I fail, I will grow from it. Not if I fail, I'm going to fail. I know it, but that's where growth happens. So as you think about this, and I start giving you the how-to, how do I shift my mindset, right? How do I shift that mentality? You remember when you were learning to walk and you fell down, you didn't say, well, I'm not going to walk anymore. You go, okay, when I fall down, I'll get back up. You had the not yet mentality. Well, do you guys remember your times tables? Right? Think about that. Why do you know your multiplication tables? 5 by 5, 8 times 9, 7 times 6. We had to repeat those multiplication tables over and over and over again in third grade. How do I know third grade? Because my mama was my third grade teacher. And that's when you learn your multiplication tables. Listen, sometimes we get something stuck in our head, but it was repetition. See, repetition is the most powerful tool to imprint something into our minds and keep it there. The repetition is the key to your success. But wait, let me show you University of California of Santa Barbara, what they found. They found that a weak message repeated twice becomes more valid than a strong message only heard once. So you heard about those affirmation stickers people put it around their computer, on their mirrors, in their bathroom, in their closets, wherever they see something. See, there's actually truth to the affirmation statements. What I want to encourage you guys to think about is repetition and to know it increases our validation of anything we want. If you're exposed to things that are negative, from photos to pictures to movies, it's having an impact on you. I want you to also think of how often you say something to yourself, I'm stupid. For the ladies, I'll say it. I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not good enough. For the men, I'm not great enough, etc. Don't allow that false belief, and I'm saying it's false. Why do I know it's false? Because every one of you are capable. Without even knowing, the capability comes in the way you think. So let me help you. Third part was persevere. How do I persevere, Casey? How do I see feedback as a gift? All right. I want to give you a quick perspective story. So I'm sitting in my office at a time. There's about 50 salespeople in my location. And the market had shifted. I don't know if this sounds familiar to any of you, but the market had shifted radically down all of a sudden. The phones had stopped ringing. I mean, literally the chatter in the office had gone to nothing. I walked out of my office and I'm like, man, is your phone ringing? And all the salespeople are like, no, is your phone ringing? No, is your phone ringing? No. And we're all validating one another. Anybody sound familiar there? So we're in this circle, a wine circle. You ever been in one? By the way, wine, W-H-I-N-E. We're in this wine circle, all validating one another. And here comes one of the top performers in the company. He walks up. And of course, we open the door, we open the circle and we ask him a question. Is your phone ringing? He goes, no. Isn't it great? And we're like, what? He goes, yeah, for the first time in a long time, I have a chance to go thank all our referral sources and go establish some new ones. I got to go. I'll see you later. And he leaves. Talk about perspective. See, you will fail, you will struggle, you will have challenges, but perspective is important and persevering is the key. There's always a different way to look at the scenario at hand. Now, in order to help all of you leave today with some powerful words and some powerful tactics in how to change your mindset, I wanted to start by making sure you know the 3 most powerful words for success. It will shift everything about your performance. It'll shift how you approach your business. Now, you notice I didn't say 3 powerful actions, but I said words. Why words? Because words are shaping you. The 3 most powerful words are, for those of you who've heard me say it before, they are, I am responsible. See, I'm responsible for my mindset. Not my boss, not my company, not my peers, not my friends. I am responsible for my health, my wealth, my success. I am responsible. I'm not going to point out there because I got 3 pointing in here. I own where I am and where I'm going. And if you're listening right now going, I am responsible. We can't, listen, every morning you wake up, the history's gone, that's done. That mindset of what's happened is irrelevant to what the future, because if you're spending time on the past, you can't create the future. I'm responsible. Now, once you understand, okay, this is a mindset class. I'm responsible for forming my mindset. How do I get that mindset? What mindset do I need? Well, let me tell you that you have to know the difference between the good and the great. What kind of mindset do the great have? Now, I had the privilege of listening to this amazing speaker. And in listening to him, I found, I went and read his book. By the way, his name is Dr. Henry Cloud. He is an unbelievable author. He's written 22 books, bestsellers. He's this renowned psychologist who has consulted the greats, the Jack Welches of GE, the giants. And in his studies, he found that there was only 2 things that differentiate the good and the great, the average and the extraordinary. Only 2 things. What are they? Yeah, they're great. They believe they are great. This amazing author goes, really boil down, the difference between the great and the good is the great believe it. They believe they're great. Guys, I had an amazing mother. I had a tragic childhood, but an amazing mother in that childhood who made me believe I would be successful at whatever I did. She told me, you will be the best at whatever career you have. You will be the best. You are special. You are amazing. I had that mindset of success. Every successful human being, every one of them, they believe they will be successful. They see their greatness. They believe in their greatness. And if you right now are listening in going, I need to believe in me, I'm going to tell you that that's your mindset. The mindset of I can do anything and everything I want. I have to get rid of the self-limiting beliefs. And then number 2, you ready? I have to prioritize making it happen. The great believe in themselves and they prioritize making it happen. So you ready? So I'm a new salesperson. I come into a new office and I go and find a top salesperson in there and I'm like, man, I'm going to be just like him. Did y'all hear that? I believed in it. And then I prioritized, what is he doing that I'm not? How can he do it? What can I do better? How can I do it better? I prioritized everything I could in order to be successful. So if you're listening right now and you're like, okay, I want to shift. What am I responsible for doing? I am responsible for believing and prioritizing in myself and believing and prioritizing what it's going to take to get to the next level, to shifting my mindset that I believe in myself. I believe in where I'm going and I've written it down. I know exactly. Now, because you guys are in sales, I think it's important you know the 3 B's that lead to success in sales. Now, this one's an easy one, but I want you to note something. As a salesperson, I always say you can't fake it till you make it. You can fake it till you make it. But we know whether you believe in yourself, whether you believe in your products, and whether you believe in your company. So the 3 B's that lead to success in sales begins with your belief in you. Quite often we just worry about the products in the company, but I'm going to tell you, you are number one. If you had to rate yourself, do I believe in my products? Do I believe in my company? Let's just say you give a 10 on each of those, scale of 1 to 10. But on yourself, you're giving yourself less than a 10. I would challenge you. Your mindset is the most important aspect. Now, I want to give you a scenario. I want to talk about 2 salespeople, all right? And I want you to tell me why one is better than another. So we got Connie and Kevin. Now, I'm going to describe them for you. It'll pop up on the screen. This is a quiz, so sort of. And I want you to tell me why one is better than another. All right. So Connie, let me tell you, she's been in the business 5 years, steady growth. This girl, she observes the top salespeople. She's been to seminars. She's got state-of-the-art technology. She read all the books. She knows her product. She's very professional in appearance. She's very sociable. She's that one you want to talk to at a party. She's very good at relationships and building rapport. She's created impressive marketing materials. And yes, unfortunately, her results continue to be merely average. All right. Everybody with me? Everybody know Connie? All right. Let's look at Kevin. That's Connie. She looks pretty good. Kevin's been in the business the exact same time Connie has. Did y'all hear me? Exact same amount of time. Very successful and double of Connie's production. So when you think about that, he's unkept, he's loud, he's not very professional, he's considered abrupt by many. He continues to be somewhat of a challenge on the team, and no one in the office understands why people do business with him. Yet, in spite of himself, he still gets business and outproduces Connie by double. See, he outperformed her because he believed in himself. I'll let that pause for a minute. Yes, he believed in his products. Yes, he believed in his company. And so did she. But he believed in himself and he believed he would be, and he prioritized the key activities. Think about that. I'm letting it sit for a minute. More than Connie did. Until you understand that it's about you believing in you and getting into that mindset, you can't win no matter how much skill set we throw at you. Because ultimately, it's not just about maintaining, it's about growth. What do you believe is about yourself as a salesperson? What's a self-limiting belief you have that's stopping you? I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. I don't have enough time. I'm not confident. I'm too shy. I don't have enough confidence. I don't have enough. I'm not articulate. I'm fearing failure. I'm overweight. One thing about Xinnix is we'll believe in you until you believe in yourself. We'll pour into you as hopefully you feel us pouring into you today. Because there is a way for you to grow. And there is a way for you to get rid of every single one of those things. Those are false beliefs. I'm telling you. Because you are perfectly made. You have the capability of doing anything you want to achieve. And if you wrote down today something that got you excited, now here comes the fun part. Prioritizing it and internalizing the right skills, the right habits, and the right beliefs. I'm going to teach you how to do the RAP. Now, the RAP, by the way, is not what you think on the RAP. The RAP is something I learned from some amazing human beings. And I can't go into the details today, but it's how to shift, how to change, how to get your mindset to where you can win again. And hopefully I've got all of you that are listening that I'm ready to shift my mindset. I'm ready to actually win and win big. Remember to internalize this. We have to decide. And the first of the RAP, you can write this down, of the RAP is to recognize. I want you to write down, recognize. What words are you using? What words are you thinking? What words do you need to say to yourself? So here's what I would love. I would love for you to take a piece of paper. I am your personal coach right now. I want you to put a line down the middle. On the left side, I want you to put a negative sign, like the little, like minus sign, subtraction sign. I want you to write down all the words that you're using that you know are self-limiting and negative. Don't worry about they're true or not, because they're probably not. Anyway, write down all the self-limiting, right? And then on the right side, because I want you to really consider what is potentially impacting your mindset. See, on that left side, you're going to write down all the negatives, all the things that are affecting your mindset, your exercise, what you read, the interactions, the music you're listening to, your playtime, the podcast you're listening to, what you eat, your relationships, your family. I want you to pause for a minute and go, what am I consuming each and every day? Because it is impacting you. Remember about repetition. We have to be aware of what is impacting us. And I'm going to show you in just a minute. So the first part of changing your mindset is recognize, where are you? That's all the negative. And then we're going to put adjust. And I want you to adjust. Now that means I want you on the right-hand side, I want you to put a plus. Here's all the key words that I need to use to adjust my language. And maybe it's adjust the people I'm surrounding myself. But I have to adjust my words. When you stop and pause and go, okay, how do I start my day every day? How do I make sure that I adjust? And I'm going to say it begins with the minute you put your feet on the floor. The minute you get out of bed going, today, I am going to conquer the day. I'm going to put a process in place, whether it's exercise, reading, eating the right foods. I'm going to start with a positive mindset. Now, guys, in order to change your sales results, I'm saying change your mindset first, because that's the ultimate play. You can do it with books, exercise, food, but you can also do it through the movies you're watching. So I'm suggesting recognize where you are, get all your negatives, all the positive words to offset those negatives to get them out. Every morning I'm saying adjust by starting a process, whether it's through movies or it's through books. And there's countless biographies out there of people who believed in themselves at a level like you can't even imagine. So when you consider that and you go, how do people, am I reading books? Am I reading things to feed my mindset? So powerful books. So I recognize where I am. I'm going to adjust how I start my day, what I say to myself, and possibly some relationships. And then ultimately, everyone, I have to persevere. So when you go RAP every morning, where am I? What am I going to adjust? And how do I persevere? And you got to persevere when it's hard, when it's easy, when you wake up, when you consider you walk in the door of your house or your office. Are you persevering? Are you really getting yourself in the right mindset every day? Because once you start there, you can win in such a big way. How many of you have ever started, and you ready? I'm going to ask you a hard one. How many of you have ever started a diet on a Monday and by Monday afternoon, you quit? After today, if you get the mindset of here's what I've been doing, here's what I will do, and you ignore the past as the basis for where you will go, because the more time you spend in the past, the less time you can create your future. I am telling you guys, the mindset is the key for your success. So as I share with you this next summary, in owning your mindset, owning your mindset and saying, I am responsible, no one else, for believing in myself, prioritizing how I'm going to get there, and creating that success mindset. And I'll do it through recognizing where I am, adjusting what I do, and persevering every single morning, noon, and night. And the minute you stop and think about what you're thinking and you shift that mindset, the more you guys will win. Let me just say on behalf of the entire Xinnix team, I hope you all left today with value, something you can put in place right away, but that this is the key for long-term for you to win. Love you guys. We'll see you again, and take care.